that's why this is one of our favorite matchups to watch out for, especially with the return of Coach Ren, Coach Ducky being here on stage. And of course, not to take any credit away also from Coach Moody, who has been the remnant of the coaching staff from last season when he was with
he really held it together.
Came in clutch to get Falcons back in playoff shape.
I believe was it mentioned in an interview last season that they specifically shouted out Coach Moody as being a big impact?
Yes,
for the latter half of the season for them to secure a playoff slot.
Basically, like giving him credit for a lot of their success, or at least their ability to make an entry.
Yeah, in and out of the game.
Yeah. So love that. We're going to the draft here for game number 1. So yeah, expanding rivers right now. We've got a Hilda band, very solid here.
Yeah.
Not surprised at all.
I like the opener for Falcons. Respect Lights Grok.
Yeah. Which some teams actually forget sometimes.
Yeah, yesterday it was really bad.
Yeah. A little bit over.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's row mid as a priority. There even a Guinevere band. It's clear where these two teams' heads are at. They're really looking at the row mid trio. The power of utility, as we mentioned earlier. So let's see if Falcons will try to match that. Will they add a Valentina band here? Because the Valentina, it's not just because it's a strong pick in terms of trading in the mid. It shuts off a lot of picks that you want to get that have big ticket ultimates. One of the reasons we aren't seeing Arlott as much is because Valentina shows up. And especially with the Valentina open, you can say that what if RORA decides to go for a Sora despite there being an open Freya, Leomord. Falcons has decided to overload the options. So has RORA. So now the red 2 side, red 1 and 2 actually look really strong because RORA will only get one of the big 3 in the meta right now in the Freya, the Leomord, and the Sora.
Despite the possible counters of the Sora, I still think that's a great idea to give to Edward. At the very least, flexed over the doming. Because I feel like there's so much that this guy can do on a hero that has such a high micro ceiling that you can get away with it. Kind of get away with it. Even with counters.
But I'm not so sure that's a Aurora thing to do. See? It's between this or the Fred, and they think it's just a little more safe to get the Baksha first, because you get to fight better in those little pits.
And this is one of those matchups that Freya is also like just left open.
That and macro efficiency. You get to fight faster.
Yeah.
Speed. I am speed.
These are the comforts of Aurora. I wouldn't be surprised if Falcons are considering taking away the high loss so that they don't end up with a dreaded high loss Baksha combo of Aurora in the mid with what could be a Yue Kimi later on if it's going to be open for him. I think Falcons need to take the high loss and then one of either Freya or the Leomord here.
Yeah, Yue Kimi is super underrated, by the way. I feel like people have forgotten because Kimi has fallen from highlight. There's the Leomord, there's the Sora. They're happy to run with that, even especially since they're the ones who actually banned out the Valentina.
Okay, so it's the first expectation we had earlier, which is they go for the power picks. So now Aurora, they can shuffle Kimi, Freya, Hylos, and the priorities here. They might even pick up an Arlott for Aurora, for Edward now, so that you have the EXP laner that can handle the Sora and match its impact in terms of the damage and crowd control.
Yeah, so far so good here, I would say, for Falcons. Very strong 2 picks. You can round it out with another gold laner maybe, like a Claude. Here's that Freya we're talking about. Love to see it. Very efficient, like Leo said. I feel like this lineup can go fast, go hard.
But only one of the 2 who want to cross the map quickly can actually do it scot-free. That's the Baksha. Now Falcons are going to be on high alert. You got to stop the Freya from crossing the river. So I want to see what Hodge plays. Remember, what does Hodge play? How do you stop that Freya from getting from the gold lane to the turtle pit in the first rotation?
That's
well,
right.
One of the fastest ones you can go for, of course, is the Farsa, fast clear mid, and then you rotate, see if you can stop the Freya just a little bit. If you want to be a little bit more static with your defense on it, in the sense of you're waiting for someone to jump at you, but you get vision, you can get the Zetian. Now, an option here for Falcons is they have to consider that RORA might suddenly surprise show up with a chip later for Rome.
Yeah,
that even if they steal
that.
away the high loss or something like that, there's still going to be the chip available for Light later on. So now they pick up their carries. It's a clear matchup now. This is most likely going to be a Freya in the gold lane for Dominkite. That's been the tendency for Aurora. The Arlott's still open, so you want to consider that going up against the Sora. A high loss Farsa mid would be alright. But the thing is, I feel like that really doesn't match the impact that could be brought on by a level 4 Freya, level 4 Baksha. Something else needs to be different. Are they going to steal the chip for themselves? Are they going to deny it? What if they decide to go for, okay, maybe we go for a very classic burst and the Cho Farsa in the mid so that we can rotate quicker?
Okay, so far in the history of MPL PHC17, only one team has cracked the code on Freya chip, and that's Smart Omega. But we now know that the solution exists.
There
Will
is a
Falcons,
solution.
yeah, will Falcons acknowledge that? Will Falcons go, hey, Omega did it. Could RORA do the same?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, you know what, aside from that, aside from the obvious answer to the Freya, there's also like an off answer to the Freya I actually recently discovered in MDL Philippines,
Oh,
which is the Masha.
Masha.
Unfortunately, it's gold lane Masha, so you can't, they already have the carry.
yeah.
So,
So you outburst the Freya.
yeah, exactly, and then you actually just completely bomb him out with the chip. It's Masha with chips.
Okay, blowed her up.
Blow it up.
Okay. Interesting how you end up with that kind of combo. Again, only possible through the global ban pick system.
Yes.
You're able to like weave through these connections.
That's what I love
but-
about MDL. Yeah.
Yeah, but here,
Everyone's free to do whatever they want here.
but it's more telegraph.
More telegraph.
Which neither team seems to acknowledge the chip.
Yeah.
No one, no, absolutely.
It might not be the... Maybe because of the presence of the Sora is also what's stopping the chip option maybe for RORA. I mean, it's great, and it might be too one-dimensional to think it's just, oh, we're not going to play chip because the Sora is there, but I can't help but think that maybe it's in the back of both their heads right now.
There
Oh,
it
there
is.
we go, finally. Hey!
So, because of that, are they going to go red 4 high loss? Just to really stomp down on RORA's known tendencies.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan. I feel like, you know what, Glorious Pathway is underrated
Yeah.
in order to answer a Freya, because the Freya can't move much.
Yeah, but I feel like if they end up getting the high loss again, what? Aurora can just go choke. And this is going to be fine. Also consider that the Kalea is still open for either of these two. That even with the chip gone, it's a tough decision for Falcons here in Red 4 in terms of the roaming that they want to deny.
because of the huge selection, it becomes more important what's picked in red 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, very big selection, honestly. And these bans are not helping. By the way, these bans are completely moving basically Falcons in a very distinct direction.
Yeah, the chip was their last proactive move here in the second phase of the draft.
Anything else that can answer this, Freya? 'Cause I'm out.
A lot of crowd control, a lot of spacing.
More crowd control.
They might end up with a Zetian for Haji, or they're going to try to run back their Valir that
Didn't work yesterday.
yeah, didn't work out yesterday.
Yeah, the Khalid ban is pretty good. I actually like that. That's another way to kind of keep up with the Freya and pressure the Kimmy. Good read by Coach MTV.
There it is, Kalea. So with the Kalea here, this should be a pretty easy high loss pickup for Aurora. And if they are overthinking already that it's going to be a Valir for Haji in Red 5, then they can pick up the Benedetta to shut down that idea. And then they'll have to readjust and go for and decide between the Farsa or the Zetian. Unless, what if Falcons is saving this Red 5 for a unique pick? Again, it's
Something
Dark
from the
Continent
Dark
era.
Continent.
They friended it. They friended it last week. I don't know. I'm ready for it.
I mean, I don't know why I've been thinking lately, like I've been wanting to see Aurora show up. Not the team, but the hero.
There's no room for it now. bro.
Where are you gonna put it?
Unless some weird roam Aurora.
No, in mid for Falcons. What I'm talking about.
Oh, your
okay,
Falcons,
cool.
right,
I thought like
right.
Aurora, since they're
Yeah,
the
no,
ones who
no.
has the propensity to do that.
You stack crowd control with that. Oh, okay. So instead of the high loss, the taunt too should really spell a good amount of trouble for the divers of Falcons, especially that Kalea.
Yep.
You can also pack a Revitalize with it, and I think it's because Rora's already thinking that that the best pick for Falcons is the Farsa, so they want to deny that. It's up to them to decide whether or not they're okay with still playing the Farsa, or then just double down on the Zetian, or show a different mid.
That's a big +1 because I love that a lot of these heroes can cancel the Farsa, but they can also like bait out the Tsunami Slam.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be the ones who can start the game, and then the Freya can do whatever he wants.
Take me, take me.
Yeah. But the Freya is like,
Yeah, I think Haji's being very vocal right now with the coaches. Very difficult conversation of like what to decide.
Coach, Farsa's too much.
Yeah, is it map presence?
No
is
choice.
it the vision? What do you want to get?
Payback.
It's still the Farsa.
no choice, bro. Just play it.
Oh, no such thing as too much for the machine.
Let's
He
go.
will not turn down a fight.
Yeah. So, there's
Looks
still-
ready. For the meantime, though, super fans, please make your predictions with us. If you want to win the 1,000 MLBB Diamonds, predict the match winner correctly, scan that QR code now.
Here we go. Who would you predict? 1,000 diamonds on the line. Like, who would you say? The world is saying a majority still with the M7 World Champions, but Falcons draft ain't so shabby.
I gotta agree. It looks good for Aurora.
They have a Kalea combo.
Yeah.
2 of them, actually.
This is beautiful.
Kalea carry, Kalea Farsa.
there's just way too much dive on the side of RORA, though. If we're going to be looking at it from a team fighting perspective, the lineup rating is good for Falcons because that is very sound in the draft. But if you look at the Gaton, the Lapu, the Freya, the Baksha, I feel like Haji might have a difficult time here for the team fights, that him trying to escape and Falcons trying to give him space actually damages Falcons' chances in team fights in the long run.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky, but I will not say impossible for Haji right here in game number 1. RORA versus Falcons. I mean, the positioning of that feather airstrike, some people would say just go ahead and hide in the bush. Maybe you can get away with it. Throw away of maybe 3 salvos.
Easier said than done, Carl.
That's right, exactly. But, you know, I'm giving Haji the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
At least for this one.
Ogwen and Haji now being a little bit more careful with their trading in the mid after some recent mishaps early on. Of course, seeing the Frey on the other side. Marco, just see what he can do to temper that.
Whoa.
Light took a lot of damage from Kyle, Haji, and Ogwen.
You gotta acknowledge the fact that the Kalia helps Haji stay, you know?
Yeah. Gold Crab, if I'm not... Yeah, went to Super Marco. Oh!
Oh my God, Light gets taken down! Suddenly, from out of nowhere, with no battle spells used from Falcons.
I think none of us expected that to happen. Even our camera didn't really catch that.
I didn't see that trade going down. Maybe Light presses Revitalize, or even the Revitalize was not enough to help him survive. In the EXP lane, Flap's doing a good job of handling Edward. Yeah, we go back and restabilize after the trade in mid.
Yeah, restabilizing is very important, especially right now that we're all waiting for those level 4s, especially for Falcons here.
Kyle comes in, calls in Barbiel off the short end, and pushes them back. Again, 20 seconds off a turtle. He'll have it when the take happens.
Yeah.
So
Takes
Falcons
over right now for the meantime.
will get into position first. Edward not yet level 4. Flap's gonna get there. They're gonna get the EXP grab. Last hit. Oh, good block. That was a timely block by Flap.
That was decent. Actually, yeah. And these small things will actually really add up over time. We'll see that happening on the bottom side of the map, though. It's a completely different story. Marco's having a rough time.
Yeah.
We don't want to miss that 101. I think he was having a hard time, yes, but he punished Dominkite enough to send him back.
Yeah, it denies him from being able to join. And look at how Haji even positioned in the right bush mid. He was expecting that Dominkite would be rotating, but because of how Super Marco handled it, Dominkite had to go back. But Dominkite will make it here.
In comes Ogwen, feathered airstrike from Haji, repositions, it's still Edward! How the hell did he get that? Takes down Kyle as well, and they push back the rest of the Falcons to the nest. Aurora in the snap wins.
And pushing it back, despite Marco being in the very prime position to actually take that attack. Very impressive. Edward really took it, and I'm looking for the retry. Where'd the retry go?
Yeah, it looked like both retries came out too early. There was still a lot of health at one point. I think it was around 700, 800.
In comes Light, taking care of Flat. Gets a kill.
Yeah, so this is what Wolf was saying earlier. Aurora are a very opportunistic team. Give them an opening and they're going to go ahead and quite literally dive under your turret just to go and grab it. So Falcons go for some counter jungling, trying to steal the Golem away from the Aurora side. Try to chase up Kyle a little bit in terms of the farm, but Light and Yue will be able to drive them back, but they still get the Golem. Edward takes a lot of gold though up top.
A lot of damage on the Kyle. He will be able to call in Barbiel. Save himself from the damage. Light is dropping. Flap gets taken down off camera. Open right in the face of Yue gets popped. And that was difficult. 2 free kills for Aurora.
Yeah, it's a lot of off-cam kills as well, I gotta say. There's a lot of kills happening here from unexpected places.
Yeah.
And very impactful to that.
Oh, Light taking care of the flanks.
We've seen this happen earlier.
Backing out. He has some support from Kyle, but I don't think that's enough.
Light and Yue have been controlling this game for Aurora. Light's been really maximizing the unbreakable taunts. And they're not afraid to trade. They're so aggressive with it, which is what you want to see when you're going up against a lineup that has a Farsa having to dance a weird dance in the map with managing minion waves in mid, trying to see if he can join. He's not completely connected with Ogwen.
Yeah, look at that Edward comfort on that Lapu Lapu as well, right? Right now, there's a lot to be had, or a lot to be desired for Falcons mid trio, but other than that, I feel like the side laners are actually having a pretty decent time for Falcons.
Except Flap. 2 deaths already.
Except Flap, yeah, sorry.
So he's deciding to cut. They're going to push up top. They're going to get a bit of gold there alongside Child, as they know that, okay, cross-map trade for Falcons Aurora.
Falcons have accepted the difficult truth that they cannot touch this turtle. They are protecting the purple just in case as well. And there's a whole lot of gold Kyle is getting on top lane.
So far, in the bottom side of the map, though.
Can Ogwin get the perfect tsunami slam? They will give up the shields on the tier 1, and in comes the rest of them. Dominkai survives, but only for a second longer. He gets taken down by Haji. Down goes Light as well. Falcons dogpiles on the front line of RORA.
Flicker, feathered airstrike for the KDA machine. Capping off that damage, Light and Dominkai alongside the rest of RORA get punished, and Falcons will be able to push Marco out of his lane, and he can now join the rest of Falcons for a full 5-man aggressive rotation.
For the looks of it, it feels like Haji will not play this Farsa in the conventional way, right? He's just doing it more like as a secondary artillery at this point. He's really relying so much on Kyle and Ogun to get something started first. And it's actually serving Falcon relatively well in that last one. I wonder if they can keep doing that, though.
Let's see. Dominkai, though, has been high impact on this fray early on. RORA will still be able to get the push out in the bot. Oh, Kyle?
He does still have no ult dash when he's cooled down. It's off of it. They do come on top of him. And they get Light. In comes Flap. AOG coming in, stopping the exit. Feather airstrike underneath tier 2. A lot of damage put onto the front lines of Aurora once more. Edward will survive off of the exit, the dash through the Landshaker.
As a 5-man unit, it feels like RORA is just like a wrecking ball coming into this one.
I really thought that could have been way worse for Falcons, but it's because they were ready for it. Flap was already on his way down, Super Marco as well. Haji has been great with repositioning with this Farsa, and I have to give it to Ogun and Kyle. They are playing around Haji. Despite Kyle being, of course, the jungler, the Leomord, they're playing through the Farsa instead.
Yeah, this is very unique. Not as much pressure, I would say, on Kyle to get things started because, you know what, Ogun's very happy to take that mantle. But, again, Purify is just making it so hard for this Kalea to actually pop off as much as we thought it would.
Yeah, you want to stop the Freya, but it takes so much to get onto her. Dominkai takes that turtle. Demon Guy takes that turtle scot-free. 3 for 3, 100% for the Northern Lights. And the Falcons are still looking for that opportunity. It's a slow climb towards equal footing.
Actually, thinking, where's the catch going to happen here?
There it is.
There it is.
Gets caught out. Flicker's back. The answer from Flap, wailing away, torrent form, looking for some crowd control, keeping them underneath tier 2. AOG, blood ball freeze descent, lot of crowd control coming in, down goes Flap, where's the damage? Feather airstrike plus Kyle coming through, taking down Light, one more kill for Falcons. Edward goes down, they take down Kyle, Demon Kite jumps in, that holy shield pops. 3 for 2, still a winning trade for the M7 World Champs.
They are so tanky and they deal so much damage to boot. Falcons handled that extremely well, but Aurora, even though it looked expensive, they lost 2. They still got the turret, and that was still a heat check to Falcons, telling them you guys don't have enough damage to melt through the Baksha and the Freya.
Yeah, we posed that question earlier. What can they do to actually answer this Freya? It looked like they were doing it for the first part, but then again, that sustained damage coming in from RORA is just unbearable.
Yeah.
There's not much they can do about it.
The Revitalize was clutch. Kyle's entry, the knockback was great, but then even right under their Demon Kite and Domin Kite together, it's a lot. Hence why this Freya has really been in everyone's radar ever since the M7 World Championship, and Dominkite still continues to show his mastery with it. And of course, Demonkite's comfort with RORA, with Baksha.
Oh, traction pulse from Yue, flushing them out of that small brush. Falcons struggling to keep even this orange away from the hands of Aurora. Where's the retribution? Kyle gets it with the help of a momentum. A little bit of a room to breathe for Falcons.
I don't know if this is a silver lining or a very unfortunate reality for Falcons, but you guys see what I'm seeing, right? They're pretty much handling the fights well. They're man marking, they're maximizing their crowd controls, their dashes, everything, but it just seems like they're getting lineup dipped.
Are you saying that they're doing it right, but it's still not enough?
Exactly.
That's right. It feels like Aurora's just doing it like 20%, 10% better. At least, you know, they're doing the right things.
Yeah. And they're getting 100% of all the big objectives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All turtles, all lords for Falcons, and look at the level difference. They don't have enough damage just yet on Haji. He only has a glowing wand. Haji had to rotate out of lane a lot, and it also didn't help that, of course, all the objectives went to RORA, meaning that even if Yue wasn't in lane as often, he was still getting the gold through the rest of the team.
Uh-oh. They're going to try to bear down on the Falcons, even underneath tier 2. AOG, Valkyrie's Ascent, cascading ults coming through. Better air strike. Flap very low. Flap gets taken down by Dominkai. They do trade for Light. 1 for 1 so far. Super Marco wailing away at Demon Kite, popping that poisons. They're happy with the turret.
Yeah, it seems as much as you can do to try to answer individual people who are diving. What do you do if all of them are doing it at the same time? I think they don't really have tools to do that.
That right there is a snapshot of where they are in this game, where Yue alone doesn't care that he's right in front of 4 members of Falcons in front of their base.
No fear whatsoever.
Yeah, no fear. He knows that they can't engage on him. He knows that they can't jump on him. Again, Falcons handled that well, but it's the lineup diff. It's the Freya and the Baksha together.
Is Marco not there just yet? Oh, that
Not
is the
quite.
Phantom Steed from Guile calling it in to help defend against his Lord, putting that tier 3 up top, down to a third of its health. Oh,
Yeah.
Flap looking to punish Domikai from cutting through too deep as Demon Kite takes Kyle's lunch money.
Maybe that can change later the moment Marco gets a Malefic gun. He is starting to build up into it. He has a Fury Hammer locked in already with alongside the Swift Trinity.
Yeah, it should help out with the range. That means he can position himself a little bit further in the back to get distance between him and all the divers of Aurora. But yeah, it's the same old story for lineups that end up with the Baksha and the Freya together. It doesn't help that you also have the Revitalize on the side of Light. Even Gacha has built in stupid amounts of
Healing.
regen and spell vamp through an enhanced basic attack.
It's just too much might be overwhelming here.
There's no dominance ice yet for... Oh, just when I said it. Okay, there it is.
Locked in.
There's the dominance ice for Flap.
There you go.
Glowing Wand for Haji along with the Magic Lantern. Dominance Eyes for Ogwen. It's like they have the tools, but again, it's just the unfortunate scenario they find themselves in. It's still not enough.
It's kind of hard to use those tools when you have like a Valkyrie literally swinging in front of your face. I can kind of, you know, sympathize with their dilemma here. But at the same time, what are you gonna do about it? Like, that's a big question. Like, how do you handle this guy?
I can't.
Yeah.
I always ban the Freya.
You always.
Jumps in, starts swinging. Oh my god, she's hot!
What do we do?
What do we do? You can't do much. The reason
Not
why,
really much.
the reason why against Alter Ego that pick was never given to Arfi again.
That's a painful part. Let's see if they can kind of remedy that. Again, one of the ways that you can do it is maybe catch him by surprise.
But he has a Purify.
That's how the Purify. That's what I was gonna say next.
There's no surprising Domin Kite.
Yeah, if hey man, if Falcon somehow solves this, that's crazy. We're gonna have to break down how they do.
Falcons last season was the only one to come back from a 13,000 gold deficit.
That's true. That's also true.
They were the only loss of Aurora, so never count them out. Lord here, quickly taken by the Northern Lights. No dice because they will take it, and the answer, they pop Edward first. Then comes the rest of Aurora after Haji's better airstrike. They jump down on the Dominkite underneath 3. Then Flap falls. Light still wailing away. Kyle at half health does not have the Phantom Steed. Gets taken down by Yue. Dominkite finds him, serving up a kill to Yue. Double kill. More stacks for the mid lane wizard.
They are too damn tanky.
Too much. I also see the problem because Yue is flying alongside Dominkite. So if you're Flap caught in between that. Who do you pick? Who do you target?
Oh my
It's so
god!
hard.
Haji gets caught, and they're in the base. Aurora have a Lord marching through. That's all she wrote. Game 1 goes to Aurora.
At the end, the numbers make it look like a one-sided win, which it did. Falcons did almost everything right after some early game flubs. But the nature of the lineup that they were up against, the signatures and the comforts, RORA